welcome to Týrcast 15. My name is Heri Johansen and I am the singer and guitar player of Týr. I am in Prague. True story.
Gunnar, still in the Faroes.
What you doing, Gunnar?
Yeah, what you doing?
So what's that?
Tell us what you doing.
All kinds of stuff.
Man?
I don't know. I'm a bass player. Yes. I'm the bass player too.
You certainly
You're
are.
the slapper of the band.
Yeah.
And I'm Tad, the drummer of Týr, and I'm here in Budapest, Hungary. And I'm not hungry. No, please don't even start. Oh,
This
Jesus.
is the 9th episode of our second season. We put out these episodes on the 7th and the 22nd at 1700 hours Central European Time every month. This goes to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and to Buzzsprout. If you want early access, you can get that at patreon.com/Týrband, plus some extra exclusive material.
Did you say butt sprout?
Or butt spread.
That is beside the point. There's a subject
Still
here
hilarious.
that won't leave us, and Richard Kaja's comments for Týrcast 14 that and the Estonian word Tadlane sounds almost like teadlane, which means scientist in Estonian. I'm glad we got that out of the way.
There you go. That's my new name now.
That
So,
is,
what do you say, Professor?
Oh, well, you know,
Or should we
where credit's due.
shorten it to Fesser?
Professor. No. Just call me Prof.
Fesser, Bester, Tester?
all right.
Okay.
Let's
Awkward.
see. Let's see next time if we can make an episode without the subject. That would be wonderful. But it keeps
Okay.
coming up again.
So what?
And
What was?
Reaping up on us.
So what was Gunnar Leinen?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing at all.
So that
In no
suits me very
language.
well, I guess.
In no language that we were able to identify.
Okay.
Something interesting that happened recently, not terribly recently, but kind of recently, was the insurrection at the Capitol in January. I think it was January 6th in the US. Now, we don't usually talk about politics on this.
All I heard you said was erection, but what was it?
Insurrection.
Resurrection?
It's called right.
Resurrection?
Yeah.
Resurrection by erection. It's a Powerwolf song. We have an indirect connection to this event, which is we were on tour with Iced Earth and Jon Schaffer.
Well, not exactly Iced Earth. We were on tour with Demons and Wizards.
Oh, rubbish. Demons and Wizards, which features Jon Schaffer from Iced Earth.
Exactly, yeah.
You see how
Your brain makes connections nobody asked for. Yes,
exactly,
I see
exactly.
that. Well, yes, Jon Schaffer. I mean, what is there to say? I mean, the stuff he did. Well, no, I'm not really in favor of that. But honestly, he seemed to be a decent and nice guy on tour. I would like to say that up front.
I think so too. He was a very decent guy, very nice guy.
I have to say that too. They treated us very well. They were nice to us. I didn't talk to them terribly much. I talked most to Hansi and maybe their manager also. But I talked to Jon Schaffer about, I don't know, 3 times maybe, anywhere from 5 to half an hour, 5 minutes to half an hour. And he seemed nice enough, honestly. Very American. But aren't
Very
they all?
American.
But apparently he was part of a group called the Oath Keepers, which seemed pretty far out to me when I read about it. Some conspiracy theory group that wanted to overthrow the American government, and that is no small business. I wanted to let it go and not talk about it and not get into politics on this podcast too much, but this was very interesting, especially when Dee Snider a couple of days ago tweeted about this because, well, first there were pictures and videos of the insurrection where Jon Schaffer is clearly visible. So he was wanted by the FBI after this event, and he turned himself in. And he could face. He was given some charges. He could face decades in prison for it. But apparently he made a deal with the prosecutors so that for cooperation and obviously turning other people in, he will get a more lenient sentence. And Dee Snider, singer of Twisted Sister, did not react kindly to that. He called him an embarrassment, a piece of shit embarrassment to the metal community, he said. If you do the crime, then do the time. What is there to say about that?
Not much, other than I guess I have to agree with Dee Snider here, because I mean, seriously, if you're really stupid enough to break into the building of the American government and try a revolution, and after that you're not even facing or standing up to what you were convinced of doing is right or is true or is your purpose, then, I mean, come on, that's called snitching.
Sounds like he doesn't really believe in what he was trying to do.
Probably, yes.
I don't think he would, if he thinks the entire government needs to be overthrown, he wouldn't try and make a deal with them to turn other people in as well. It seems very half-baked and half-hearted to me.
Maybe he's chicken shit.
Maybe. It does look like that. I'm not saying, decades in the US prison is no holiday, it's no picnic. No.
You probably would take anything to avoid that, but...
especially at maybe I should say at our age, your entire future's gone.
You're trying to avoid to be somebody's bitch!
I have no clue how it works or where he would be going. So but anyway, it's a pretty serious crime, an attempt to overthrow the entire government. That is no, and how you can then try and cooperate with them for a leniency from the very system you were trying to overthrow. It seems, I don't know.
It all seems so harsh, and it kind of brings me back to some of the troubles we have been to. It's instead of going a political way of showing people your point of view, what you think is right, and they do come and do stuff like this, which is somewhat childish in a way.
It's actually radical. And that is the biggest problem here,
but there's also something childish about it. It's like when you're losing a game of chess and you just wipe everything off the table. I mean seriously, we have a functioning system here. You may not like it, but I mean there are ways of interacting with it if that's what you want to. There are also ways you absolutely shouldn't. If whatever they were trying to do was successful, there's, I think, 100% chance that things would be worse and not better. The American system probably isn't perfect. I don't think any system is. But treating it like this is almost certainly going to make it worse if they were successful.
You need, no matter what you do, you need to go the political way, unfortunately. That's the only proper way to get some points in, if you want, some points of view. This goes to the same case that we have been. I won't mention the case because we will get
just
so many.
Mention it. We already mentioned American politics. I don't think it gets worse.
Everybody knows and sees the elephant in the room.
But when you mention, it's the same when they came for us protesting against the whales.
Yeah.
And I asked them so many times why they don't go the political way. I mean, that would be a good way to approach it. But they don't.
Exactly. So I said that in my first video. If you really want to abolish whaling, you should contact people and politicians in the Faroes who want to do that, because they at least have a real chance of doing it. This revolutionary nonsense isn't going to do anything, but except make things worse and antagonize you, people against you. People are not going to like you for it. Most people are not.
But
I mean, go ahead.
No, I understand the frustration, I guess. I mean, you would feel pretty powerless going the political way, but that is unfortunately the only way you can properly
in the long term. That's the only way that brings you results. I mean, but it is not as visible, and it doesn't work as emotional as apolitical activism, like our protesters. I mean, it always, these people are radicals, and they are usually not well informed, because I mean I talked to some of them during US tours or North American tours as well, and most of them didn't have a clue about the whole about why they're really protesting our stuff, because they are so misinformed. They think that we have killed hundreds and hundreds of whales by ourselves, with a knife, and it's some kind of gruesome blood a ritual, everybody goes through in the Faroes or something, and that we are actively propagating whale hunt and this barbaric tradition, and that we have so many songs. And I asked them, okay, so many songs about whaling. Yes, you have. Okay, tell me one. Well, we should have looked into that, but you have them. It's like, okay, come on, seriously.
That's not the only thing. It's also the mere fact that they say we are whale killers. For fact, none of us have ever, never killed a whale. Barely touched one. Why come for us? Of course, we ate the meat, of course, but we never killed one.
Yeah, there was that one picture, and that was it. And it's not for. It's important to mention every time. It's really not to stop whaling that Sea Shepherd or Paul Watson himself does this. It is to generate income from donations.
Yes, I know.
Exactly. So the people on the ground, the people who show up to protests, I think most of them think they're doing something good. They are honestly misinformed, but it's still their it's your own responsibility to make sure the information you have is correct. So I don't let them off the hook by that, but I still recognize they're being honest.
Yeah, and I completely understand that people love the animals. I mean, who doesn't? We love animals, so that's not a good enough reason.
There was a wonderful article or a piece on Faroes News the other day. A sheep in the Faroes had 4 lambs. Never happened before, at least not there. And you see the lambs on video. They look extraordinarily cute. Everybody in the Faroes eats sheep meat, no matter how cute lambs are.
Yeah.
Whales are fascinating animals, no doubt about it. And it's one of the most mysterious animals also, because they live their lives in the ocean. It's very hard to find out how they live, what their life cycle is like. And the big whales are, the largest whale animals ever to exist on this planet, as far as we know. Everything's fascinating about it. People still have to eat, and as 85 or more % of this planet eats meat, animals have to die for that. It's just the way it is. If it's a whale or a sheep or a cow.
It's also, I don't like the hypocrisy in over mystifying some kind or some type of mammal. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Like for example, in Germany, I think these are data from 2017 or 16. A couple of years ago, I went into that, and I read about how many pigs are being slaughtered in Germany during 1 year, and in 2017 it was like 47 million.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please don't quote me on that, but it was a horrible amount. You know?
I'm surprised that it's actually not more.
If you add the number of cows and chicken, it's billions, I think.
Yes. I mean, and this is just one country, and this is 1 year, and you know, in the so I don't understand why people won't go into these, you know, distances for saving cows.
When we killed
and pigs.
800 whales on average in the Faroes.
On average,
per year. That is, if they stop whaling completely, they will have solved next to nothing of the world's problems, if that is the problem.
Exactly.
It'll be less than a drop in 1,000 oceans, and it's really not there to do anything but generate income. And yes. the thing is, Paul Watson figured this out in the late 70s, that all he has to do is get a picture of a person in Sea Shepherd gear standing between some evil people and whatever environment or animal they're pretending to protect. They use that picture in media, and that generates income.
Yes.
That's all he's doing. That's all he's ever been doing.
Yeah, and also to put it to perspective, I mean, they say there's around 80,000 sheep in the Faroes. And every year, around the last part of the year, we slaughter the sheep a lot. But next year again, there's 80,000 sheep again. Think about it. And we slaughter 800 whales.
Yeah, which live in a much larger area than the Faroes. I mean, the vast ocean between Greenland and Norway. A tiny proportion of them come to the Faroes.
How about the world?
Yeah.
Or that.
Yeah.
No.
So
it's ridiculous.
And so to tie this together with the thing that happened in January at the U.S. Capitol, this is an outrage-driven misinformation campaign, which is kind of the same. I mean, someone came up with all that bullshit about the conspiracy theory in the U.S. and made people act on it. And I guess you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like people who come to protest at our shows, some of them may be honestly misinformed and may be honest and really think they're doing some good. I'm sure most of them did. But
yes.
It's still your personal responsibility to make sure the information you have is correct. And you can't. You're not going to get off the hook by saying to the FBI that someone lied to me and I was wrong after this.
And I think it's really important, especially nowadays, to emphasize that there is no such thing as your subjective truth. That it doesn't exist. There are facts. There are facts, and facts can be overruled if you have new evidence. Yes,
exactly.
But facts won't change. It doesn't matter if you don't believe them. They are still there. If they have evidence and they are based on that evidence, then they are the only objective truth. And this is especially with people who are into conspiracy theories. They are saying, well, I'm researching my own truth. There's no such thing as your own truth, man. I mean, please get the facts right, not your facts. They are not your facts. There are facts you know about and facts you don't know about. Still, truth is ubiquitous, and it doesn't exist any alternative version of that.
Amen, brother.
Oh yeah. I feel like singing a song.
I have nothing to add to that. That represents my opinion as well, precisely.
And it's sad because I talk to a lot of these people and they all seem pretty nice when you stop talking about whales. So
what do you do when people just went down the wrong rabbit hole, and they're obviously honest, but they're just off the hook on some subjects, completely off the hook, and have a. Some people distrust media and government so much that they will think that everything that comes from the government and the media is the opposite of the truth.
I could quite easily understand that, actually, because unfortunately the media is very political. They usually have some political direction.
Yeah.
So I could kind of.
But if you know that, you can correct for that when you read it. If you're aware of which direction this is leaning.
That's true. That's true.
That is not the same as the media saying the opposite of the truth all the time, because I think that would be close to impossible to hide. There are watchdogs on YouTube and everywhere, Bellingcat, whatever, making sure, double, triple checking facts, and making sure everybody gets everything right. And if you told something as ridiculous as whatever these oath keepers thought they were up against, it's just hiding something like that would be. The fact that you would believe it's possible seems to me completely deranged.
Yes, definitely.
And well, that president didn't seem like the guy worth fighting for.
Honestly, honestly.
Man!
I would just let that one slide.
We've talked about the insurrection and whaling. Will it get worse if we mention Donald Trump?
It probably will. So let's get down to that.
Yes. Look, I didn't like the guy, but he was not the main problem. I really don't think so. The same thing has happened in many countries. You get populists. If that really means anything, you get rude loudmouths, put it like that, elected here and there. Boris Johnson is one, for example, not too sophisticated, a bit rough around the edges, sometimes directly rude. You get these people elected now and then, especially recently, I think, around the world. And the guy in Brazil, here in Czechia, in Hungary also, I think. And
yes,
just goes slowly that way. And Trump is just one more of those who just happens to be in the most powerful country in the world. And if it were for him or not, I think that would be the same problems. There would be someone else, and I don't see things improving terribly just because the other party wins. The problem is really not about politics at this point.
Yes, yeah.
And we'll see what this new one does.
We'll see.
I have to.
That you just said 1,000 words without saying one.
Look. I have to say this. It boggles my mind that those candidates. How many people live in the U.S.? 350 million, maybe more.
375 or something. Yeah, but around that, yes.
Donald Trump and Joseph Biden, are they really the best two people you have to put in line for the most important office on this planet? Seriously, Americans.
What's up with that? What's up with the age?
I know
a young guy
a lot
there,
of,
for God's sake.
At least middle-aged. At least middle-aged with some ambition and spunk. Yeah. I know a lot of Americans by now. None of them have remotely as many flaws as either Donald Trump or Joe Biden. Where are the good Americans in politics? What the hell?
Yeah. So, it's unbelievable. Anyway. I think choosing somebody who's edging his way to death. I mean, holy...
Don't we all, Gunnar? Come on.
They're holding his legs as he's crawling towards the grave. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, how old is he? He was... how old is he?
He's in his late 70s, I think. Yeah. Oldest U.S. president ever elected, I think.
I mean, that's equivalent for, and I love my mother, but that would be equivalent to put my mother in that position. And
she might do a bit better, I think. I'm not sure, but she wouldn't be the worst.
I think she would be pretty tired at the end of the day.
not to mention, there's.
So, come on.
All right.
Anyway,
this was exciting.
We were talking about tours, weren't we?
Yeah.
Last time we were on tour in the US, did anything funny happen?
Well, we should be careful though, but because we are not American and we do not know that much about America, so we should be a little bit.
No,
careful.
That's true. But I know something about people because we meet a lot of people, and right now I think we're talking mostly about people and not politics.
Yeah. Just saying.
Just saying.
No.
If you're offended by this, please leave a comment.
Please dislike this video.
Yes, hate us.
Yeah.
Show us some hate.
Yeah.
So when we started this podcast, I think we decided not to get into stuff like this, but sometimes there's just.
It's no way around it. I mean, come
no
on.
way around
I don't think it serves anyone well by avoiding the difficult subjects in the long run. We're a band. We have other ways of giving our opinion than a podcast, but really, I think everyone should, in some way, get into the difficult subjects and tell your opinion about that. We maybe should do it in music and not in a podcast, but hey, here we are.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we can guarantee you that we are not going to write songs about political stuff. Maybe about the thing like 1,000 years ago in Iceland or the Faroes, but not current affairs.
Not directly. I had many times I was writing lyrics. I had current affairs in mind, although I never mentioned them directly.
Of course, of course.
I think we'll keep it like that.
Allegorically.
Unless you have a very good tour story, Gunnar, I think we will take it to the questions now.
Oh shit! I can't think of any right now. I would love to tell you one, but
did anything funny happen on the Demons and Wizards tour?
Well, for example, there was in Montreal. We were parking with the bus behind the venue. And there were some really zealous activists. And they were going around, like going in circles. And the manager of Demons and Wizards, he was wearing actually a Sea Shepherd sweater. And they almost attacked him, like, "You're not allowed to wear that stuff. Take it off, take it off." And I mean, what was his name? John? British guy.
James something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And he was, very laid back, and he was like, "Don't you want to fuck off all?" He just went away. Oh, they were pissed. They were very mad.
He was a calm guy, but he was a member of Sea Shepherd, I think, even.
No, not a member. I mean, he mentioned that he agrees with some stuff they are doing, but not with the whole ideology that stands behind it. But more like the conservation side of it. But I mean, he was never a dick with us,
And absolutely not. But I'm afraid he's been fooled. Because there isn't really a conservation side to Sea Shepherd. It's really a outrage-driven money scam. There's nothing else to it.
Yeah. That's unfortunately.
Wasn't there on one of the concerts? Wasn't there one of the activists that actually bought a ticket and came into the concert?
Yes.
Now that you mention they were actually several times. For example, in Switzerland, there were some young guys, like 18, 20 years old. And they were actually, not the totally driven and fundamentalist activist type, like squirting artificial blood on you or stuff like that. But they were like standing there and, "Please don't kill whales," and they were actually saying, "Hey, hi," and "Okay, hi, what's up?" "Oh, we're just protesting, but after this, we're coming to your show. Okay, bye." Okay, I mean that's fine with me. fine. Yeah,
absolutely. Everyone's
please
welcome.
do.
I don't have to agree with everything the audience thinks. Everyone's welcome.
And actually, in Portland, there were some girls women protesting. And the first 5 minutes I was talking to them, they were not really open to any kind of debate. But after about 20 minutes, half an hour, some of them almost got convinced to come in into the show. That was a small victory, I think. Yeah. Okay, that's my take on activists on tours. Gunnar?
No. I got nothing.
Keeping the subject to tours, Sarah Paris asks, have any of you ever been hurt or gotten sick while on tour? That is a really interesting subject when you go on tour, or important subject. It's to stay sanitary and keep your health while on tour. Almost every time a flu or a bad cold goes around on the bus, and about 1 or 2 weeks in, everyone's coughing and sneezing, and
or food poisoning.
Food poisoning happens too, more than once.
And
I had food poisoning twice on tour, and they all happened on stage. The outburst of the poisoning.
The outburst. Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
Literal outburst.
Yes.
The worst thing I had was on our European tour with Heidefolk. And especially it happened. I injured my shoulder. It happened after the very first show in the Netherlands, and I was actually carrying out some stuff to the trailer, and it was dark outside, and there was like a small box right in front. The exit of the venue, and I didn't see it because I was carrying something, and I fell over it, and I injured my shoulder really bad. I was unable to sleep on it for like a week or something, so maybe even something was broken in there. But of course, I had to carry on with the tour, and it's when stuff like that happens to you on tour, it's really difficult to see a doctor or do anything, because I mean,
you have to
Freddie
go.
Mercury said, "The show must go on."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I still have issues with that shoulder since then.
Did you go to the doctor with it?
Nah.
You really should. Especially if you might have broken something.
Which proves that we're manly men.
Yes.
I was. I can remember having food poisoning once. Well, I've been ill. Have had the flu. Or cold many times. The worst time was the first time we went to the US.
Right.
I was very ill for about 2 weeks. A bad
2
flu.
weeks? Shit.
Yeah. And first time we played Hellfest, I'd just been swimming in the ocean. And if you don't do that regularly, you get an ear infection after you do it, I understand. So I had the most painful ear infection you can imagine. While playing, and the flight home was excruciating because of the pressure difference.
Mm-hmm.
And food poisoning was on the tour with Sirenia and Unleash the Archers. I think we were poisoned on purpose.
Poisoned on purpose.
Because the person who worked behind the counter in the cantina was wearing a Sea Shepherd t-shirt or hoodie.
I remember this, yes.
It might have happened by accident, because it happened before without any specific reason also, but not to me. And I remember I woke up at 2 in the morning and I ran outdoors. I could feel something like bubbling up my throat. I ran out, vomited into the bushes, and I could see there were 2 people on either side of me doing the same. So it was a serious food poisoning.
It had to do something with I think either with the meat or the eggs, because
the eggs. I think we figured out after everyone who ate eggs.
Vomited. Because I didn't, and I was fine, and I mean almost the whole bus was wretched.
Yeah. I think me and you escaped that one.
Oh, you too. Okay.
Yeah, I did not get sick, so.
All right.
As for injuries, I didn't really have one ever, but the worst one I experienced, well, maybe two, was when Kari had his back injury. He could hardly stand up in the end, but he had a serious injury. It was not because of touring, it was because of his hard work. He was working in the salmon industry, and he had a disc dislocation in his back, and he was in excruciating pain on the way back. He had to lay down everywhere he could.
I remember
and he was just screaming in pain in the end.
I remember I shared a hotel room with him at that point, and he could almost not get out of bed.
Yeah,
that's how bad it was. So,
of course, he had to have an operation. It was quite urgent. The other one I can think of is when Jonne broke his finger. Jonne from Korpiklani, when he stopped.
I heard that story, man.
He stopped playing guitar live after that because he could sing.
I wonder who he partied with that night.
He was partying with Teddy, I guess.
Of course he was.
He fell, and he had an open. The bone was sticking out of his finger. I heard this. I wasn't there, and they were walking. They had walked to the doctor emergency room. This was in the U.S., I think.
Yeah, it was in the U.S. It was in Queens, actually.
So they patched up his hand, and he just didn't play guitar for the rest of that tour. And he even stopped playing guitar live at all, which I think made their live show a bit better.
A bit more interesting, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good frontman without the guitar. Honestly.
Very good frontman.
Yeah. Next question comes from Peter Glanville. What are the roles that Guns and Tad play in the songwriting process? Is there a veto power to overrule Here if the two of them think that his ideas are a shit idea?
No, not really. We just say it as it is. It's very. We just say what we don't like and try to correct that, I guess. So.
Usually I take that into account. Sometimes not, but I think we hardly ever were very disagreeing. No. We didn't have a serious disagreement. Maybe since Teddy left. I had some arguments with him, and I want things to be theoretically correct. I want them to make theoretical sense, and sometimes people ignore that, and I simply can't have it. So that's my thing.
Which again makes it very easy because you know that we know that in advance. So that part we will not argue with. So
yeah,
I will still give him something that is not so theoretically correct because I like to do that.
Fair enough. I had plenty of those things. I can. So I moved the notes and add some harmonies.
I think we're pretty cool about the writing stuff all the way through.
Yeah.
Of course, we say if there's something we think that could be different, and we usually
we always talk
better.
about it.
Yeah.
And so.
That's my role. Tadios?
Well, I mean, I'm with you guys for now almost 5 years, and I did not come up with any melodies for Hail, only with drum stuff and drum parts. But
you made the drums on that album, and they were fucking awesome.
I did. Well, thank you very much. But I mean, for the new album, I already came up with some melodies or some song ideas, and so far, I mean, I don't know really what Hera did with them, but maybe they're gonna be rewritten or.
I didn't do anything to it yet, but I was listening through it, and I would change them something, put it into harmonical context, corrected also that it makes sense in a classical way. That's the only way I can have the music.
And that's fine with me. So.
I'll get to it and I'll do it. And I've done that with Gunnar songs, Terry songs. It usually works out fine.
And that's totally fine. I mean, for example, the song we are currently working on is quite awesome. I have to say that. And I mean, we had some there and back, you know, bouncing there and back some ideas, and the end result is marvelous.
Take a song like Fire and Flame, for example. Gunnar wrote quite a long song with many different parts, and I'm not sure you remember, Gunnar, how it was before you sent it to me.
Yes, well, kind of.
It was a bit different.
It was not that much different. It was just
not radically. No, you would recognize it.
It was just actually the stuff that got put into it was what I wished for. So more or less.
Yeah.
That's what I like with music. You put an idea forth, and I basically think that I put this to you, and please brainstorm on this. Whatever you can think of, do something with it. That's the whole purpose of it, really. Because it's just a small idea that you have to turn into a bigger thing. So, yeah.
I thought that one turned out pretty well, at least.
It was very well.
Good ideas.
Unfortunately, I have to say this. Bass lines and theory, they don't go so well together. So it's pretty for the finger positions, it's not so good.
No, sometimes also you'll have made some melody on the bass, but you know, putting guitar over that will just drown the bass out, or there will be no bottom in the music. So
yes.
Sometimes the bass gets, or almost always the bass is playing the bottom line of the music, and you're not really playing anything interesting. If you heard only the bass, you could maybe understand why Gunnar gets bored every now and then. So much of the arrangement process that Gunnar and I do are just adding bass details here and there to make it interesting.
I think me and Hero were pretty good at the last record to actually, where one ran into a brick wall and said, "What now?" And the next one came, "How about something like this?"
Exactly. Sometimes you have something.
And that just fires off an idea in somebody's head.
Yeah, two people or three people working on it is definitely better than one person doing it even 3 times over. So yeah. Let's get to the next question. Richard Kajaste asks again. I have a question. What are the lyrics of King of Time about? It's my favorite song from the newest album, but frankly I do not understand what it's about. So that's very hard to say. It was very, I think Leo Tolstoy, I was reading something about him, and that inspired at least part of the lyrics and some scientific observations. And then for the chorus, I'm not really sure what I was thinking. I was kind of rummaging around in some things that I was thinking about. And especially for the chorus, I can't really say what it was about. If you think it's good, I'm happy, but I didn't have a specific thought in mind, honestly. I really didn't. Not like for the verses. So I can't really say. If it's good for you, I'm very happy.
And that's the beauty of lyrics, is when you can interpret something yourself. Kind of like that very much.
Yeah, some lyrics are about something very specific. I can tell you precisely what I was writing about, but other times it's kind of, I don't know, dreamlike, like something that seems to make sense and then you wake up. You know, what the hell was I dreaming? It makes absolutely no sense, no matter how I look at it. So it's kind of that feeling sometimes in lyrics, and I like that. I thought about it a lot with Dio, for example. I think he has many lyrics that can be seen in a very unspecific and dreamlike way, and I find that very nice. Not sure why. Next question comes from Jorm. If there's only one album playing in hell, which one would you like it to be? And that's hell with one L. If we were, say you died a dishonorable death, not going to Valhalla, and you find yourself in hell, what would you like to listen to until the end of time?
Probably Painkiller.
I wanted to say that, man.
Painkiller or Somewhere in Time.
I mean, or maybe Power Slave.
It's for eternity. I would pick the longest album I can find. I think I would take the unabbreviated version of Chess, the musical by the guys from ABBA and Tim Rice. Not that I mind metal in this context at all, but I would like a very, very long album that takes a long time to repeat and has good melodies and a good story. I would take Chess. Last question comes from Olaf Hardadottir. Have you guys ever been injured on a day job due to a dumb-ass reason?
Oh,
she didn't say ass. I added that myself.
Many times. Many
what have
times.
you done, Gunnar? What have you done?
Well, basically, if you're a carpenter, you get injured all the time. As far as 2 days ago, I got something in my eye, and it stayed there for actually till this morning. And not so long ago, I went to the doctor because I got something into my eye. And I've done all kinds of stuff.
Tell us the dumbest thing you ever done.
Dumbest thing I ever done?
There's so many.
Maybe it's too much to ask for. I don't know.
Well, I fell off. Yes, well, I fell off a roof.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Right before a tour.
Yeah. I fell off a roof, and it was kind of dumb because I was overconfident. I was on top of the roof, on the edge. I don't know what it's called in English, where it goes like that. Mm-hmm. And I was, again, I'll use the word, I was flailing about. And I thought, I was quite convinced because I thought if I slipped, I could always just grab the edge. But this was a brand new roof, and these things are made quite slippery because they need to have the rain drizzle off it when it rains. So there was nothing to take your hands off. The hand just slided off, and I was on my way with my back first off the roof. And I remembered all I could think of was just get myself turned around so I didn't land on my back. Because if I did that, I would probably not be sitting in this chair. I would sit in a wheelchair or something.
Nice big wheels, yes.
Yeah. So, but and funny things. People talk about religion. All I could think of was, oh, this is it. That was it. That's all I thought. I thought I was gonna die, but I didn't. So.
How high was it down? How far?
It was not that bad. It was 3 meters or something like that. So. It was not that bad, but
still enough.
It's more than enough. I had quite some momentum going, so it's not that bad. But I landed on my foot, and I don't know. I think I broke something, but the doctors say I didn't. But I still feel it to this day. So I don't know. But it could have been any roof. No, it could be much higher, and it was much higher.
And even at 3 meters, you could still have hurt yourself quite badly.
Yes. So there's a lot of things at work that go wrong sometimes, but unfortunately, you learn every time, and you try to be careful. And things go wrong when when somebody rushes you. That's when things go wrong.
Yeah.
So just take it easy. It's just money at the end of the day.
I was once working in the fishing industry. We were putting boxes back into the boat. You take the small boxes out. They take about 75 liters each, and you take them out with a crane, empty the fish out, put the boxes back in after the boxes have been cleaned, so the boat can go back out and fill the boxes with fish again. And the boxes are very light, of course, when they're empty. They're made of plastic, and you're handing them, in a long chain of guys. And I was standing at the top. There are like 2 or 3 levels down, and my little brother was at the bottom. You have a helmet, of course, because you're something might fall. Everyone's wearing a helmet. He was fortunately wearing a helmet. I dropped the box right on my brother's head. Hit his helmet. Fortunately, he got so angry he took off the helmet, threw it after me. I felt really stupid. Hurting yourself, you have only yourself to blame. But if you hurt other people, that's just horrible. Yeah. I'm sorry for anyone that happened to, and I'm glad my brother was wearing a helmet.
Well, my father was my father. Yeah, now he expects the German accent. So my father used to be a riding instructor, and I was helping him for years, and practically living in a stable with the horses. And I mean,
so you're practically very able.
Very able.
Living in a stable.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yes. So, but when you're doing that day after day, sooner or later, you get injured because you just don't pay enough attention. If you do something the horse doesn't like, and it's gonna kick you, or when you're riding actually, and you're out there somewhere in the woods, and it gets startled and it falls on its back and onto yourself. So I mean, this all happened. I got kicked so many times by horses, bitten, and they fell on me, and it
vicious
happens.
Beasts.
Yes, they are. I mean, they are beautiful and I love them, but they can be bastards.
Temperamental, I guess.
But usually it's your own fault. It's
I see. So if you knew how to treat them, they wouldn't do any of that.
Yeah. Of course, they are very intelligent, and it's almost, I mean, like in 99% of the times, it's your own fault if something happens.
And usually you can read them. Yeah, you can see what mood they are, and so if you are aware of that, you can avoid those things.
They have a very human-like facial expression. So I mean, you really like literally can read them according to their looks.
You may have some problem reading my face expression now that I've shaved. There was the Bandmate Challenge section coming up now.
You have the biggest mouth in the world.
So, after Steven Tyler.
This is why I wear a beard, you can see.
Yeah.
What do
you say, big lips?
I'm not going to do this again for decades.
You Rolling Stones logo.
So, all right. You shaved also, Thaddeus, but
I did, but for last week, yes, because I was convinced that we were going to record this episode last Sunday, so I did it back then. And since I mean, you can see that I still look like a teenager when I don't have a beard, and my beard growth is that of a teenager's as well, so it takes quite a lot of time to grow it back. So I'm sorry, but I was not willing to shave again.
Yeah, I understand, man. I forgive you.
Well, mine takes forever to grow out, so I bought it out, and I know I have under here. I have an extra chin. So, fuck no.
No go. All right. Well, we need a challenge for next time. Gunnar, I think it's your turn.
Challenge?
Yes.
Oh, crappy.
Yeah, think fast. TikTok, bitches.
I got nothing. I mean, hey, make a new song finished for next time.
We have
everybody each.
We have one song that we're working on right now that I recorded.
That's not really a challenge. No, that's a lousy challenge. Come on.
Well, coming up with you know, a good idea for a song is good.
What were you about to say, Gunnar?
No, this only goes for you, Wari. It could go for both of you.
You have to include yourself.
Okay. let's all three write lyrics for our next song, and see which one we actually pick.
Which song?
No, it doesn't matter. Just write the lyrics for a song, and the best lyrics wins. And let's see who wins that one.
So we are going to write the song after the lyrics. So we are going to pick one lyrics and then write the song for that.
You could pick any of our ideas. It's just
write
about
lyrics. Write lyrics
write
for next
the lyrics.
Time. All right.
And see which one is accepted into the Imperium of Týr.
All right.
Police.
Can I write something in German? Yeah, vielleicht.
Why not?
Any language you like. I would even sing Hungarian. That's
Rammstein style.
Yeah. Yes, I was gonna say that. Rammstein
style. Say that fast 3 times. Rammstein style. Please like this video, everybody.
Yeah.
You can follow us on Instagram where we are Týr_official. On Facebook we are, and YouTube and Twitter we are Týr Band. On Bands in Town you find us at bandsintown.com/Týr. If you follow us or track us there, as they call it, they will let you know when we go on tour again. It's very important that you are notified so that you don't miss our shows. You can listen to your favorite Týr songs on your favorite streaming platform, or you can listen right here on YouTube. It's all now on our channel. Please go to Týr.fo where you can buy CDs, LPs, you can buy our second latest album, you can buy our third latest album, you can get the wonderful new belt with a logo buckle and everything. And you can sign up for our newsletter. You can have early access to this kind of material and some exclusive material at patreon.com/Týrband. And you can ask questions that we will answer right here on the Týrcast. We put out episodes on the 7th and the 22nd of each month at 1700 hours Central European Time. And unless you gentlemen have something critical to add.
No.
Hope to see you back here on the 22nd of May at 5 p.m. Central European Time. Das wird Daniel.
Adios.
Auf Wiedersehen.